Please use media player or VLC media player to see this video book. Introduction to Coding for Kids and Teens with Python, a block-based approach. Now we are in chapter number 4. In earlier 3 chapters, I have introduced you with basic coding concepts using some block-based software. I have also introduced you with Python. We are going one step forward and learning the Python now in bit details. Python language fundamentals. The important concepts are: 1. Character, 2. Data types, 3. Identifiers, 4. Reserve words, and 5. Variables. We'll cover them one by one in brief. First, concept of character. It is just a single symbol which has some meaning in that language. Character can be alphabetic character, it can be a numeric character or a special character, etc. Each single character has a corresponding code point. Code point means a certain value. So every character or a symbol in the computer language is associated with a certain value. This value is the ASCII value or ASCII code or the Unicode. So earlier ASCII codes were used and now we are using Unicodes so that we can code more number of characters in different languages. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. The ASCII code and Unicode for English capital alphabetic character is 65. Capital B, the Unicode or ASCII code is 66. For C it is 67 and so on so forth. For small a, the Unicode and ASCII code is 97. For small b it is 98 and so on. The ASCII value for the character 0 is 48. The ASCII or Unicode value for 1 is 49 and so on. So every character that is a symbol, maybe it is an alphabetic or a numeric or a special character, is associated with code point, referred as the ASCII code or maybe nowadays Unicode. Here are some examples of characters. Alphabetic characters can be A, B, C, D up to Z. These are in capitals. We can have A, B, C, D up to Z in lowercase also. Numeric characters 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9. Whatever is neither an alphabetic character or a numeric character is referred as a special character. So the symbols which we see on the keyboard such as plus, minus, star, slash, greater than, less than, equal to, these are referred as the special characters. Apart from them, we are having white spaces. White spaces characters are generated by blank space. That means when you press the space bar on the keyboard, tab space, etc. Note, Python does not have a char or character data type. We are having string in Python. A string with a single length can be considered as a character. The second concept is of data types. Data types. Data means a value or a reading or an occurrence of something. For simplicity, just remember data as some kind of value or values. Classification of inbuilt data types of Python. So, the data types are classified as numbers, none, sequence, set, and mapping. The numbers are further classified as int, float, complex. Int can be a bool value also. Sequences are very important in Python. The various sequences are str, that is string, tuple, and list. Then we are having set data type. We are having mapping, dict. Let us go into details of numbers now, the first data type. So, numbers. This data type is immutable. Immutable means the value cannot be changed. We are going to learn about mutable and immutable shortly. Int. This data type represents integer numbers. So, int is a shortcut or short form of integer numbers. Integer number means positive or negative whole numbers. Example 0, -10, 30, 45, etc. So, int means integer numbers. They are positive or negative whole numbers. The second numeric data type is float. This represents fractions or real numbers, also referred as floating point numbers. So, numbers with decimal point, that is real number or fractions, are referred as float in Python. Here are some examples: 0.0, -0.5, 12.3234, like this. And in this example, it is written 1.5 E2. So, the real number has been now represented in some other form referred as exponential form. This means 1.5 into 10 to the power 2. Okay, that is 1.5 into 100, that is 150. So, this is actually 150.0, float number 150.0. So, we can represent the numbers in shortcut also using the exponential format. The third numeric type is complex. A complex number is of the form a plus bj, where a is the real part and b is the imaginary part. They can be int or float. Okay, so a and b, that is the real part, and the imaginary part can be either integer values, that is int, or can be real values, that is float. J is root of -1. J square is equal to 1. Example 10 plus 4j, this is a complex number. 6 plus 7.2j, this is a complex number. Then we are having bool data type. This data type represents Boolean values true or false. Python internally represents true as 1 and false as 0. So, there are only two Boolean values, and these are true and false. Mind well, in true T is capital and in false F is capital. None. Next data type is none. It is used to signify the absence of value. Then we are having sequence. Sequence is an ordered collection of items indexed by positive integers. It is combination of mutable and non-mutable data types. Means some of them can be changed, some of them cannot be changed. Examples are str. This data type represents strings. String is a sequence of characters enclosed in a single or double quotation mark. Multi-line strings are enclosed in triple quotation marks. str data type is immutable, means cannot be changed. We'll see it later on. Here are example. Set of characters ABHINAV in double quotation mark is a string. Set of characters full Abhinav and computers enclosed in single quotation mark, this is also str, that is string. Now here we can see we are having some alphabetic characters, we are having numeric characters, dot, comma, left parenthesis, right parenthesis, special characters. So well, the string consists of set of characters. The characters can be alphabetic, they can be numeric, they can be special characters also. And string has to be enclosed in single quotation mark or a double quotation mark or maybe a triple quotation mark. Character. A string of length 1 is character. 3 identifiers. This is identifier concept now. Earlier we have seen few important concepts. The concept of character, the concept of data, and the third concept is that of identifier. It is a name given for identifying various elements of Python program. So identifier identifies certain elements of the Python program. Thus identifier is the name of a variable, a function, a class, a module, etc. To identify the variable, we give name to them. To identify the various functions of the program, we give name to them. For different classes in the program, we give name to them, and so on. Here are certain rules for forming the identifiers or identifier names. 1. A Python identifier can only use alphabets, digits, and underscore. Identifier cannot begin with a digit. If identifier begins with an underscore, it is private. Since Python is case sensitive language, identifiers are also case sensitive. So Python makes a difference between capital and lowercase. Reserved words are inbuilt words of Python language and cannot be used as identifiers. A note is here. If an identifier begins with an underscore, it means it is private. If it begins with 2 underscores, it is strongly private. If it begins and ends with 2 underscore, it is a language defined special names. So you are supposed to remember these important notes. Let us go further now. The next topic is operators in Python. Operators are meant for performing various operations. Python operators are broadly classified as arithmetic operators, relational or comparison operators, logical operators, bitwise operators, assignment operators, and special operators. Now, these operators are executed in a predefined order. Precedence or priority. It is the order in which various operators are executed while solving an expression. Associativity. if an expression has two or more operators of the same priority, then associativity comes into picture. So if we have two or more operators of the same priority in an expression, then associativity comes into picture. Operations of same priority are solved from left to right or from right to left. This is associativity. Majority of the operators, the associativity is from left to right. That is, whichever comes first is solved first. Now following table gives the list of Python operators according to their precedence. Okay. Next, percent or modulo operator. It is also referred as mod operator. It gives remainder of the division. It gives remainder. So we had been using the slash operator, and slash operator gives us the quotient, whereas the percent operator, that is the mod operator, gives you remainder of division. Syntax is A mod B, gives remainder of division of A by B. Example, print 10 mod 7, divide 10 by 7 and get the remainder. 7 ones are 7, so remainder is 3. The output is 3. Since both the operands are of int type, the answer 3 is of int type. Print 8.0 mod 6. 8.0 is float, 6 is int. Divide 8.0 by 6 and give the remainder. So 6 ones are 6, remainder is 2, but the result is 2.0. Since one of the operand is float, the result is of float type. Print 15 mod 3. Divide 15 by 3 and give the remainder. 3 5s are 15. Remainder is 0. So gives the value 0. It is int since both are int. 12 mod 4.0. Divide 12 by 4.0 and give the remainder. 12 by 4. 4 3s are 12. So remainder is given as 0.0 since one of the operand 4.0 is float. 8.7 by 6, that is remainder of 8.7 by 6, it is 2.699 and so on. So the concept of operators has been covered, and now we go further. The math module. Math module is inbuilt module of Python. It contains several functions to perform different mathematical operations. So we had seen some arithmetic operators earlier, plus, minus, star, slash and so on. But apart from performing these basic operations, there are number of other mathematical operations which are required. So there exists a module in Python. It is the math module, and it contains several functions to perform different mathematical operations. To use the math module, use import math statement. Usage of math function in the module is module name, dot function name, and here we may have arguments in the function. Any function, in any function, in the within the parenthesis we may or we may not have arguments. Thus use math dot function name for using appropriate function. So math is the module name and this is the function name which we want to use. So these are the few sample pages of chapter number 4. This is actually the chapter summary, and as you can see, what we have covered in this chapter are the concept of data types, identifiers, reserved words, variables, operators and their precedence, and the math module. Here are some important questions here, some important notes are there, and some exercises are there. So these are some sample pages of chapter number 4 and its summary. To subscribe to the full video version of this book, kindly mail me at my email ID viveksir.abhinav@gmail.com. Also, see my next video for sample pages of this book, Introduction to Coding for Kids and Teens with Python, a block-based approach.